Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 6th annual E1 Ignite Cup. The E1 is a collaboration of like-minded entrepreneurial support organizations who have come together with one goal in mind, and that's to place entrepreneurs front and center, offering support in the form of education, workshops, events like this one-on-one mentoring, and access to resources and funding. The E1 Ignite Cup is a joint effort between these 16 organizations that represent the 11-county region of Southeast Minnesota. This collaboration is made possible through grant funding provided by Launch Minnesota, and I want to give special shout out to Neela Molgard, who is here with us tonight. And Launch Minnesota is a program of the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. My name is Stacy Nimmo, and I'm the Executive Director here at Red Wing Ignite. We serve as the regional hub for the E1 Collaborative here in southeastern Minnesota. So I'd like to start off with just a few housekeeping notes. We will take a brief 10-minute break around 6 p.m., giving you an opportunity to fill your glass and do some networking, and then again about 6:30 when our judges deliberate. To all of our presenters tonight, when your name is called, please turn on your microphone and your camera, and that will put you quote unquote on stage. And throughout the night, we're going to be dropping links into the chat that you may find interesting, such as upcoming events and a variety of resources. Now, for those of you who are new to remote, the chat can be found in the bottom middle of your screen. And if you open that up, and I see that Shannon has already dropped in a link there, you can keep up with us just live time through chat. Now tonight you're going to hear from 5 up-and-coming startups as they present their ideas to the panel of judges. The judges have had an opportunity to review the business plans of each of our finalists, and they will see the pitches tonight for the first time with the rest of us. So special thanks to our judges who have given their time and expertise. Todd Churchill, Biz Ops and CFO for the Rochester office of CLA, a national CPA firm. Chris Shimmick, a member of the Golden Triangle, an entrepreneur and owner of many area businesses. Jerry Olson, president and owner of Olson Consulting and a longtime friend of Red Wing Ignite. Beth Benbow, who you'll hear from in a little bit. She is the founder of Busy Baby. And Jessica Berg, the director of the Minnesota Cup, one of the most prestigious pitch competitions in the United States. And we'll hear more from Jessica in just a little bit. You, the audience, will also get a chance to be a judge for our People's Choice Award. Voting will open after the last pitch, and you'll have the opportunity to vote for the startup of your choice. Over the course of the evening, you'll also hear from 4 past winners to hear the latest updates on their businesses, all located right here in southeastern Minnesota, and they definitely have some exciting news to share. But before we move on tonight, we want you to hear from a special guest, CEO and president of the Southern Minnesota Initiative, Tim Penny. Tim is here to greet you and also has a special announcement to make. Welcome, Tim, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Stacy, and thanks for letting me be a part of the introduction to your Ignite Cup event today. As most folks on the call would know, our foundation is a regional economic and community development foundation. We serve 20 counties in south central southeastern Minnesota, including the 11 counties that are part of the E1 Collaborative. We do a variety of things in the economic development space. We do some grant making. We have a prosperity initiative that helps to train new immigrant entrepreneurs in business skills. We have a local foods partnership called Feast with lots of local food organizations and promoters across the region. We have a small town entrepreneur program called the Rural Entrepreneur Venture Program, where we help with strategic planning around entrepreneurial goals. We have an equity program, and we have some lending, 25, 30 small business startup or early stage business loans. So we're heavily in this space, but we do all of our work in partnership and collaboration with other groups in the region that are working on these same issues. We always feel that we can be a complement, a supplement to what others are doing, and that collectively the sum is going to be greater than the parts. And that's why we're so proud to be a part of the Southern Minnesota Collaborative, the E1 Collaborative, which brings together those involved in economic development and entrepreneurial support all across this 11-county region. We want to create a stronger, more vibrant entrepreneurial culture here in our part of the state. One of the things we do at our foundation is an annual Shark Tank type competition for student entrepreneurs from the several college campuses here in our region. And that's a fun event, and we give awards to the winning businesses through that competition. We've also established a partnership with MinCup, and we will award to anyone that is a finalist in the MinCup competition an investment at the end of that competition. And not too long ago, we had the honor to give a small grant to Beth Benbow of Busy Bee when she ranked at that competition, but she got there because she won the Ignite Cup competition here in Southern Minnesota. So last but not least, we wanted to find a better way to help support this Ignite Cup activity. And so tonight, the winner of this competition, in addition to going forward to MinCup, will also get a $1,500 donation from our foundation. And so I just want to, again, thank all of the partners that are making this work in Southern Minnesota possible. And I want to wish the best of luck to all the entrepreneurs tonight.
Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you to Smith. Smith does such an amazing job throughout Southern Minnesota and is an amazing partner in the E1 Collaborative. So that is such exciting news, and we are grateful for your generosity. And our finalists, as Tim mentioned, will not only win that cash prize from Southern Minnesota Initiative, but will also earn semifinalist status in the prestigious Minnesota Cup. Last year, 2 of the previous year's Ignite Cup winners won $70,000 of prize money in the Min Cup, and that is nothing to sneeze about. And so I'd like to invite Jessica Berg up to the stage, and Jessica is going to tell us a little bit more about Minnesota Cup. Hi, Jessica, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you so much for having me back. But yeah, for those of you who I haven't had an opportunity to meet yet, I'm Jessica Berg. I'm the director of the Minnesota Cup. The Minnesota Cup has actually been around since 2005, so we are entering our 17th season, which is really wild. But I've just been in the role of director, running the operations and fundraising for the competition since 2017. So it's been an exciting journey, and I'm really happy and grateful to have this wonderful partnership with Red Wing Ignite and now E1, the E1 Collaborative. But for those of you who don't know Minnesota Cup or haven't participated in past events, we are a community-led public-private partnership that brings together corporations, foundations, government, skilled volunteers to support Minnesota's entrepreneurs. We serve a statewide population, but it's through, as both Tim and Stacy described, through partnership and collaboration that we're able to do the work that we do. The core of our programming is an annual competition that reaches emerging entrepreneurs from across the state and connects them with education, mentorship, and other resources to launch and accelerate the development of their new ventures. The competition both inspires entrepreneurs to begin their journey and supports them as they develop a solid business plan. We also provide exposure for their ideas and offer numerous opportunities for them to expand their networks. Since we were founded in 2005, Minnesota Cup has given away $4 million in seed capital to prize winners, and we take no equity in exchange for those funds. Minnesota Cup is a program of the Home Center for Entrepreneurship at the University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management, but you do not have to have any affiliation with the university or with the Carlson School to apply and participate. We are truly open to any founder in the state of Minnesota, and we are industry agnostic. So we are a unique type of competition, but we really are here partnering across organizations and working together to try to direct the types of support, funding, and resources that entrepreneurs need to really succeed in the state and to make Minnesota a really welcoming, supportive place for new startups and hopefully, some of the next big billion-dollar companies to find their headquarters in the state. So that's a little bit more about Minnesota Cup, and I will again, be part of the judging panel. I'm really grateful to have that role, but I'm around too. So if any of you are interested in Minnesota Cup or have questions, please find me during the breaks and the networking hours, and our applications are open right now. So really excited for a new season.
Jessica, I just had a question. Could you repeat the dollars again? 17 years and how many dollars?
17 years and $4 million in prize money, which is
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. And it is, we are part of and supported by a ton of other fantastic organizations. Tim and Smith, their Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation Prize has been part of that $4 million total over the years that they've been part of it. So it really comes from a lot of different sources. Neela Mulgard and Launch Minnesota, they partner with us to give away $20,000 to $30,000 per year from awards through deed. So it really takes a village, but we operate like a not-for-profit and fundraise that full prize money that we give away every year and all of our operating costs. So we really mean it when we say that we're representing the community, and we're hopefully stewarding those resources and support on behalf of a lot of different great partners in the state.
That's amazing, and we're so fortunate to have a program like Minnesota Cup here, just right in your own backyard. So I know that your event is coming up on September 20th, I believe.
Yes. Yep. That's our. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, but that's like your final event, right?
Correct.
And so will it be a combination of virtual and face-to-face this year?
I hope so. That is what I am planning right now. We last year, as many of you may know, weren't able to do an in-person final award ceremony the way that we typically do because of the pandemic, but we did stream the event for the first time, which was really a learning experience for me, but I think was really well received, and at least got the opportunity to share the fantastic pitches of our division winners and division runners up the way that we typically do. Yeah, it's definitely my hope that we'll be able to have an audience of some size in person, and we'll just kind of see how the summer goes, and hopefully as people get vaccinated and cases drop, that will be safe this year. But yeah, our applications are completely free. They're fully online. I will add, and it looks like maybe Shannon's already on top of it, but I do have some links that I'll put into the chat so that if you are learning about Minnesota for the first time or you're curious to know more, you'll be able to follow up and check some of those things out. But our applications are open now, and they close at midnight on Friday, April 16th. So there's about a week and a half left to apply for the 2021 season. So yeah, it is a longer process. So September 20th is the culmination of everything. But if you are remotely curious or interested in applying, or other people in your network who might like to apply, please encourage them to check it out soon and access some of our resources so that they don't miss the application window.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for your partnership, and thank you for being here as a judge. So good to see your face.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you too, Stacy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So Paula Trenda is from Curly Girls, and she was the winner of the 2018 Ignite Cup. And so Paula, I'd like to invite you up here on stage. There she is. She's here to fill us in on what has happened since her 2018 win. So it's all yours now, Paula.
Thank you. In 2018, we did make it through the semifinals of the Minnesota Cup. We got a lot of great feedback, which we incorporated into 2019, where we were also semifinalists. One of the things people didn't like our packaging at the time, and so part of that in 2019 was to redesign all of our logos and packaging. So we took that advice from them. Since 2019, we have continued to grow pretty rapidly. We had a little slowdown last year at the beginning of COVID, but that has turned around pretty quickly midsummer, end of summer. And so we've continued to grow. The biggest change for us is on April 21st of this year, we will be live on TVC selling our hemp and our pecan brittle to everyone. One of the things, and thinking outside the box as well, is what new products do we have? What would people like to buy from us? How can we not spread ourselves too thin, but still make a lot of products? And one of the options that we investigated at the beginning of last year and implemented in the fall was our the sweetener blend that we've created for our sugar-free candies. We are now selling both a granulated and a powdered version to customers to make their own low-carb, sugar-free baked goods and sweets at their own home. And so that has really helped us diversify kind of what we're selling, in addition to meeting other low-carb food manufacturers, both in Minnesota and outside of Minnesota. We're selling some of their products on our website as well for them, so people can kind of start to become a one-stop shop for our candy. This year we have been focusing a little bit more on wholesale, and so we are expanding our wholesale reach, which the QVC is one of those that could blow up pretty big for us. We're adding equipment, we're rearranging all of our retail, and just making a lot of changes in that area. The Minnesota Cup and the Ignite Cup help us really focus on what we do best, help us look at our finances, help us look at cost of goods and understand a lot of how that works. One of the things that I love the most is that one of our mentors that I had in Ignite Cup is now sitting on our board of directors. We did go from an LLC to an incorporated company, and so she's on our board of directors. Another one of my Minnesota Cup mentors from 2018 put us in touch with the marketing firm that we're using and helped us redesign our website, which we're going to make some more changes again this summer to that and do a few other things. And so it opened up a whole series of resources for us that has helped us grow. And I can't leave Smith off of that either, because Kim and Martha and John and everybody at Smith have been phenomenal to work with. So if you're a startup and you're looking for a loan, I highly, highly recommend that. The resources that we get with that are just phenomenal. So we're pretty happy with where we're at and what we're on track for. The QVC is huge, but in addition to that, from first quarter of 2020 to first quarter of 2022, we just finished those numbers. Our online sales are up 48%, overall sales are up 38%. So we can't complain. It's continuing to grow.
Wonderful, Paula. I just have a couple quick questions for you. Could you let everyone know where you're located?
Sure.
Okay.
We're in downtown Owatonna currently. Hoping to stay here as long as we can because I love our location, but knowing that as we continue to grow, it may not be feasible long term. But yeah, and right now we're in downtown Owatonna.
And where can people find Curly Girls Candy at?
Currently, you can find us online, curlygirlscandy.com, and then we've got a list of our retailers there. We're working on a couple with some large regional grocers that hopefully will be in by the summer, but nothing's finalized there. Otherwise, we're in a lot of specialty retailers on the East and West Coast.
Awesome. So we're excited to be able to tune in and cheer you on, did you say April 21st on QVC?
April 21st, we'll be during their Big Find show. So we get 13 minutes in a 5-hour show. I don't know what time that'll be for sure, but the show starts at 4 Central, 5 Eastern. So sometime on the evening of the 21st. So
well, keep us updated on that. Thank you so much,
yes,
Paula.
thank you.
Great to see you. And I am going to tell all of you that if you have any sweet tooth at all, it's the most amazing chocolate and caramels and on the planet. And you definitely want to check it out, especially their keto-friendly caramels and chocolates. So
yeah, we are pretty much only keto now.
Is it? Okay.
We only 99% of what we do. We have corporate clients we'll still do sugared stuff for, and for a few of the holidays, but otherwise it's all the sugar-free now.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks so much, Paula.
Thank you.
Okay, so our first pitch is coming up. Clearwater nitrate reduction is up, and Ian Robach, would you please go ahead and come up on stage with your mic and camera on? And judges, you're going to want to get ready because it will be your turn here in about 4 minutes when Ian finishes, and we'll have a Q&A. So take it away, Ian.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm pleased to present to you Clearwater nitrate reduction, a new constructed wetland solution removing nutrient pollution from agriculture runoff. We have identified the problem of agricultural runoff in southern Minnesota that pollutes surface water and groundwater from phosphates and nitrates. This causes major health concerns such as increased cancer rates and waterborne diseases, including also water quality problems from algal blooms, as you see in this picture, and fish kills that greatly damage the environment. This also creates economic problems in agriculture communities worldwide that rely on clean and safe drinking water. And current solutions don't work well, they're costly, and can increase greenhouse gas emissions. Our solution is a two-cell constructed wetland system that combines filtration of sediment, flow management, healthy bacteria growth, and natural biological processes in order to reduce these pollutants off agriculture fields. This works because we use a 100 micron sediment filter that's able to reduce the amount of sedimentation that causes most ecosystem failures. We also do a isolated two-cell wetland design control for water flow. This prevents washouts and overflow problems, which allows us to work the solution in multiple situations, creating maximum deployment flexibility over other solutions. We then can also manage the carbon nitrate balance, which increases our performance and prevents the greenhouse gas emissions that we see in other solutions. Our market is mainly landowners, easement holders, conservation and watershed districts, and municipalities in agricultural regions. We see in southern Minnesota a great need for this because there is a large amount of nitrate getting into the surface water, mainly in southern Minnesota. In the United States in total, we see an increased amount of agricultural pollution, starting with Minnesota and working its way down through the entire Midwest. And this isn't only in the United States. We see this problem all throughout the world, mostly in places with large amounts of people who require an increased amount of agriculture. That would be Europe and Southern Asia as well. Our competition is mainly buffer zones, bioreactors, and wetland restoration. These solutions have been shown to be either too expensive or not able to reduce it to the standards set by the NRCS or the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. Our solution is able to meet the cost reduction and longevity deployment that is required to make the solution possible. Our main competition could just be doing nothing because it costs nothing and there's no maintenance required. Our business model is to create our nutrient removal system that's able to first create our initial pilots. From there, we have our offset market. We're able to sell carbon offsets and nitrous oxide credits. From there, we also have our sediment filter that has been developed for our system, but can be developed for its own purpose to serve in multiple areas on its own, which may be our main selling price in the future. Our main source of revenue is our project fees, ranging from $25,000 to $45,000 for our current projects, and up to $100,000 or more as we scale up. Our impact on the community is providing a scalable, profitable business, improved water quality, more jobs, better health in the area, increased economic development, and a better quality of life in general. For our funding and our revenue, we see that we'll be making around $180,000 with our deployment of our pilots, and our expenses total around $152,000, meaning that we'll be profit cash flow positive within the first year. So far, we've been able to develop our minimum viable product. We've filed patents for it, engineered and validated the engineering. We have our 3-month test project that's been successfully conducted. We've received $28,000 in Launch Minnesota grant, and we're planning to match that with a $25,000 grant that we've applied for through Smith. And we've created a pilot pipeline that can serve these purposes. Our business development, we are focusing on southern Minnesota, closing our 4 pilots, developing partners, and working on our customer sites. Our solution development will be validating the performance and reliability, working on that nitrogen balance, and testing our filter and copywriting. In 2021, we expect $110,000 in pilot sales. This accounts for $27,000 in profit, and in 2022, we see $1.2 million in profits for sales as we scale up our business and we increase the size of our projects. And we're asking for $20,000 in non-equity funding, and we're looking for these pilot projects. Our team is mainly it's focused on. We have Ian Roback, just me, the founder. I have an environmental studies and data science degree. I have research, designed, developed, and filed the patents for the nutrient pollution removal system and the filter. We have technical expertise from people from the University of Wisconsin, University of Minnesota, and from the leading nutrient reduction specialist in Iowa. And we have been working with commercialization experts who have 20 years of business development experience, taking technology-based startups and creating commercial businesses. Thank you. Look forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Ian. Okay, so judges, with your mics on and your cameras on, please come up to the stage, and we have 5 minutes for your questions with Clearwater.
Hey, Ian, sorry, Jessica, I'm going to jump in right away.
Okay.
We're a farm family. So we just got done putting anhydrous on all the fields to get ready for corn. So we're contributing to this problem. So it's a very interesting solution. It's a really awesome solution. I have a couple different questions. My first question is, would this process, what you've got patent pending, would that also apply to road runoff, chemicals that are placed on our roads and in the ditches? Would it work the same way? And have you looked at, like, what are the differences in the damage to our economy, or not our economy, our ecosystem, from the farm runoff compared to the road runoff?
Yeah, from farm compared to road runoff, it can work in both solutions. For road runoff, you typically see more hard metals, not necessarily nutrient pollution. So it would work mostly for agricultural solutions. And what we typically see, especially in southern Minnesota and across most of the Midwest, is we see a significantly larger amount of nutrient pollution versus the hard metal pollution that you'll see typically from the runoff from roads and other areas there. So this solution is addressing the larger problem that we see with water pollution, which is the nutrient pollution.
And my second question is around, what kind of patent have you filed, and would you see more uses for this technology beyond just farming runoff if the patent goes?
Oh, for sure, yeah. So the patent right now is a utility patent. Filed that, it's in review, and it's being pushed through right now. We can see as I said, the sediment filter itself has been patented, and we can see that being used in many different areas as well. So it can be used in both industrial and agricultural uses, and could even be used in commercial or properties like homeowner properties. I can't remember, residential. There it is.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Ian, first off, fantastic pitch. You squeezed a ton of information into a very short amount of time, so kudos to you for that. My question, Beth kind of touched on it, or like a question adjacent to it, but it looks like you have approached your plan and sort of next steps, as well as the funding and sort of the capital that you've raised so far or been able to gather together to pursue a few of those pilots. If you don't mind sharing a little bit more about how you have gone about or will go about, if you haven't done this yet, selecting those pilot sites, and share anything else you can about some of the customer discovery you've done in terms of whether it's those municipalities and sort of local government, or if it's other groups of people, sort of who's willing and who would be kind of up to the plate to pay for this type of service.
For sure, yeah. So for the customer discovery, I've reached out to municipalities. I've reached out to economic development corporations, mainly through emailing and phone calls. So we've been able to do that, and I've found several sites that meet the standards that are set forward by the NRCS and the USDA. So for selecting the sites, we're not only looking at the standards that I've set in place, but we're making sure that when we put these in, that they meet the standards that have already been put in. So we need to make sure that when I select the sites, basically it has to have the right hydrology, and it has to have the significant amount of nutrient runoff, so we can demonstrate that there is a critical need for this solution. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Totally, it does answer the pilot site question, but when it comes to, I mean, it does seem like there could be a complicated value chain here, that the drivers are sort of the communities and places that need this support, or maybe are kind of in the context of having the most potential environmental damage, may or may not be the people who are actually buying this or sort of hiring you to do this work. So who are those people, or can you share a little bit more about the difference between sort of who benefits and who pays?
Yeah, so our main potential customers are soil watershed conservation districts, conservation organizations that are doing similar work but haven't been able to tap into the market there, and individual landowners that have tried other solutions to reduce their nitrate but haven't been able to be successful. And we've seen great interest from all three of those different organizations of different sectors. So we're confident we'll be able to find find pilots there and find further customers there.
So a couple, yeah.
Sorry, we have we're up to time now, and so we're going to need to move along. But wonderful questions to all, and thank you very much, Ian, for pitching. So great. We're going to move along now to Collaborative Commons, and they are the next up to pitch. And so we would like to welcome founders Tom Dunau and Elaine O'Keefe to the stage. And judges, you can turn off your cameras and you can mute your microphones. Okay, so we're going to give them just a little bit more time to figure this out. And Susan Langer, I hope that you are ready, because we're going to go ahead and jump over to you just a little bit early. And so Susan, if you could join me on stage by, there she is, by turning on your camera, phone, and microphone. So I know you had this job last year and emceed for the Ignite Cup. And so when we dove into one of our first virtual pitch, it was the first virtual competition we've done. But Susan, you were the 2017 Ignite Cup winner, and we would love to hear from you and what has been happening lately with Live, Give, Save.
Great, Stacey. Thanks. Can you hear me? Great. Okay. Thank you so much. First, I would just want to congratulate all the presenters this evening. How fun is it? I know you're very excited and very nervous at the same time, but you've got a generous audience, so I know you're going to do great. The first one was for sure. For those of you who don't know, Live, Give, Save was founded in 2016 out of Red Wing Ignite. We created a product called Spave. It's the first and only all-in-one mobile solution for giving and inspiring social good. Our product Spave enables consumers to aggregate and view all of their bank accounts from multiple banks and credit unions so that they can track and analyze their spending, save for their future, pay down debt, and give to the causes that they care about in one single app. Through our engagement with Ignite and the E1 Collaborative, we've had access to networks and resources that help us establish our business, to raise funds, to conduct research, build and test our beta version and our MVP version. As a matter of fact, we won the Ignite Cup, as Stacey said, in 2017, which seems like eons ago. But that win allowed us to be a semifinalist in the Min Cup. And while we did not progress any further, it gave us valuable exposure to the startup ecosystem, which was awesome. To date, we've raised $150,000 in convertible notes, loans, and grants from the likes of Red Wing Port Authority, the Golden Triangle Angel Fund, I think we were their first investment, Smith, and Launch MN, among others. We're at the end stages of our negotiations with a strategic investor who will contribute capital to help us build our product and get it to market, to provide access to valuable resources, to reduce our costs, and then create a fast track to targeted distribution channels. So we're super excited about that. I was hoping I could announce it tonight, but I can't. This past quarter, we conducted primary research among known donors and targeted nonprofits that we call our Spave Faves. Simultaneously, we've been testing our Spave 2.0 over this last quarter within a closed group of what we call friendlies as we prepare for our public release in the App Store and Google Play later this month. We anticipate a full-on marketing campaign later this summer or early fall, so check us out on the web at spave.us, new website, and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Spave Now for updates. And together, we'll save the world. So thanks again for the opportunity, Stacey. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, Susan. I was really hoping too that you would be at the place where you were ready to be able to share the announcement, and so we're all on. I know. So you have to keep us updated. I know you will, and you'll let us know as soon as you have the news. And it's been really fun to watch just the progress that you've made in spite of COVID. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So
couldn't have done it without Red Wing Ignite and the E1 Collaborative for sure. So thank you.
Well, congratulations on all of your progress. It's so fun to watch you and cheer you on.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Susan. Okay. So at this point in time, I am wondering if Elijah Nelson with Jock Lab is ready. And Elijah, we are jumping a little bit ahead, and if you could go ahead and Here he comes. So Elijah is with Jock Lab, and he's coming to the stage, and we'll go ahead and, well, hi, you have somebody there with you tonight.
Hi.
Over to you. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Elijah.
And I'm Roby.
And we're at the Jock Lab team. And here at Jock Lab, our mission is to enhance sports performance training with the aid of purpose-driven robots to help athletes maximize their potential. Follow us on Twitter for daily content and more about our startup journey. So the problem that we're solving is old basketball training equipment. Cones, chairs, mannequins, and even garbage cans are commonly used to simulate a basketball defender. And this limits training effectiveness because static objects do not simulate real basketball defense. Therefore, there's nothing that simulates real defense on the market.
So what's the solution, you might ask? Obviously, it's a device, or in this case, a robot, that simulates real-life defense. D-Up combines both software and AI capabilities to track a player on the court and also avoid all obstacles. Some of the features are 2.5-hour rechargeable battery. It is app-controlled. It also has a Bluetooth connection that connects to the device and can also move up to 10 miles per hour. Here's a look at our current MVP. As you can expect, the reception has been amazing. Here's some messages from coaches, camps, athletes, and trainers who would love a chance to work out with D-Up.
And so why now? Automation is on the rise and robots play a huge role. And so there's a new trend, sports and robotics, where we're starting to see robot and AI enhanced training devices are trending in basketball, football, and soccer. And here's a quick look at our startup journey. I built the first 2 prototypes in my dorm room at Gustavus in St. Peter, Minnesota, entered the Gusty Cup, won first place there. And ever since then, we've been building and growing in Minnesota. Some notable partners are Minnesota State University, Mankato, where we developed our minimal viable prototype. And most recently, the University of St. Thomas, where we are developing our final prototype. And so partnering with colleges has been our way of bootstrapping, building at no cost while also maintaining our intellectual property rights.
Here's a look at the addressable market. On a global level, it breaks out to $32 billion. In the US, that reduces to $400 million. Jock Lab intends to target all levels of the market, from professional basketball players down to the youth basketball level. Here's a quick graph that shows you pretty much everything on the market right now. On the top left-hand corner, you have devices that are easy to use, like trash cans and cones, but are completely stationary. On the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you have the original Profender, which is mobile, but it's very hard to use. It has to be pushed around by your coach or an extra player. On the top right-hand corner of the screen, you have D-Up, our solution, which is the best of both worlds. It's easy to use and also mobile.
And so some of our competitive advantages that we're first to market, patent pending, so we have the only solution that simulates real basketball defense. Increased practice reps through automating repetition of a closeout defender, and a solo training device. You can truly play a game of 1 versus 1 with the robot. Just think about the kid in the driveway that doesn't have an extra playing partner.
So this is our business model. We'll be selling D-Up in direct B2B and B2C sales. We will also be deploying D-Up as a service to coaches, camps, athletes, and trainers around the US. There are also planned upgrades to our software and our hardware that we believe will have a positive impact on our bottom line in the future.
And a quick look at the Jock Lab team. Myself, 10 plus years of robotics, beginning in middle school all the way through high school and college. Roby really brings that business experience, and Eli, our basketball coach, trainer, and marketing manager. Our engineering team includes 6 seniors from the University of St. Thomas. For mentorship, we have Todd and Ben, our patent attorneys, also including valuable mentorship. Nick at Rover Robotics, who also guides us through manufacturing support as well. And so what's next for Jock Lab is to build a production-ready prototype by 2022. And so these steps are as follows: complete our customer discovery through active pilots and pre-sales, hired a full-time engineering team to push us through our final product development manufacturing, which will build us momentum to launch a crowdfunding campaign by the end of the year and production by 2022. So yeah, thank you. That's JockLab.
Thanks.
Let me see. Back.
Okay, thank you so much, JockLab, for sharing. Unfortunately, we were having a little technical difficulty and many of your slides were not able to be seen. But let's go ahead and we'll call the judges up. And judges, if you could unmute and turn your cameras on, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. So thank you very, very much. Todd, I'm so sorry to interject here. We're having some audio difficulties, and it's very fuzzy. I don't know if it's like that for everyone else.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
No, we can't understand what you're saying. Okay.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
good
thank
now?
you.
All right. Great.
Yes.
So good, really good presentation. The thing I'm most intrigued about is this is a pull model. If you can get this out into the marketplace, the customers will pull it from you instead of you having to push it to them. Do you have any idea of
Right.
where you're going to be for pricing?
Yes, we do actually. At this point, is all just pro forma and just like planned. We have our bill of materials currently priced at roughly $120. We intend to sell this for less than $1,500, which is more than 100% profit margin at the moment. We understand that through the manufacturing process, some of all these factors can change. So we're looking forward to like working through that and seeing how this affects our bottom line.
What's your bill of materials again per unit?
Currently $120.
120.
Yep.
That's hard to believe that it's that low. That's I mean, it's impressive, but
Yeah,
that's cool. If you can do this for that kind of price.
I mean, it really is that price. We're working with a group of 6 engineers as well as our mentor. So it really is 120. With 3D printing, manufacturing is not as difficult anymore, and robots are starting to serve more than an industrial purpose.
How long is a unit going to last? You know, is it durable enough? I mean, it's going to get beat up hard in this application.
Yes, that's what's next for us this summer. We have pilots lined up from youth basketball camps all the way to professional athletes ready to go this summer. So we'll be doing a lot of pilot testing and learning more about our product.
I've got a question too. I apologize if this was on one of the slides and we just weren't able to see it well, but I'm curious I think we have a good understanding of, or a decent understanding of the hardware portion of your product. How do the robotic aspects interact with a software component, or any of the programming that would need to go into it to be effective or customizable by the different programs that would purchase one?
Yeah, so the robot has sensors on it that does all the work. So no wearable devices, and there's a computer chip inside the robot where we use it to communicate with our app. What mode, how fast we want the robot to go, which mode we want the robot to go. And so, yeah, that's just a little bit of how it works.
Right, and so there are currently 2 active modes, which is the closeout mode, where it actively simulates a defender in real time. And there's a mode where you just work on, for example, shooting. So you can flip between both modes with the software. It takes information like the distance of the player from the robot itself. So we can do a count based on the code. And you can kind of loop it to continue going through those same actions to kind of automate repetition.
So I have a question about your market investigation. You anticipate selling this to coaches and teams of programs or individual like parents of kids?
Yeah, so
And
our plan is to target individual athletes and the organizations that serve them. And actually on Twitter, how we got that idea, basketball coaches and trainers have reached out to us directly, calling want to learn more and asking us to visit their camp and just giving us general feedback on how they would use the robot. So that's how we got an idea of who would really want a device like ours.
And tell me about your investigation, where you're at in terms of testing that price point.
So we have received a few quotes. We have done basically pricing exercises on wholesale websites where we've put in minimum order quantities for our bill of materials for say 1,000 pieces. Of course, the more your minimum order quantity increases, the lower the prices. So we have carried out some pricing exercises on a piece-by-piece level for the parts going to the store.
But from a sales standpoint, the price sensitivity to your buyers, your market.
Kind of the way we looked at it is this should be priced above what the average iPhone costs because it provides just as much a pinpoint value or more than a phone. An athlete, I feel, who wants to maximize his potential will probably place more value on a playing partner that is always ready and always willing to go than say an iPhone. So we've kind of priced it based on the cost of items like this in the market. There is also an item called what is the football one?
Yes, the football tackle dummy that's priced at $3,000 to $5,000. There's robots in football that are priced at $3,000 to $5,000, and so that's how we get a feel for what the general sense are willing to pay for.
All right. Thank you so much, Jock Lab, and we just appreciate your time with us. And thank you again for judges. Our time is up here, and so what we would like to do is we are going to go ahead and we're going to go to break just a little bit early, and Beth Benbow will be up, and we'll hear the latest from Busy Baby right about 6 o'clock. So take a moment, take a break, go fill up your glass. Take some time to network, and we'll see all you back here in about 10 minutes. All right, thank you, everybody. And we are pulling back in just a little bit early from break. I hope you can take a moment and get yourself settled back in. And we're welcoming Beth Benbow, a Busy Baby, the 2019 winner of the Ignite Cup, who recently had some national exposure with her appearance on Shark Tank. Take it away, Beth.
All right, thank you, Stacey. I just, to summarize my story, I walked into Red Wing Ignite just over 3 years ago with a flimsy prototype of a product I cut and glued together and showed it to Neela Mogard, and she helped launch me on this incredibly insane journey that I've been on now for almost 4 years. I invented a baby product that stops them from dropping and throwing their toys. With Neela's guidance, the help of the Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation for funding, the Minnesota Cup I participated in for 3 years. I couldn't recommend it more highly. I have now gotten to a place in my business where I have 3 patents written. I was on Shark Tank. In just over 2 years of being on the market, I've got over $2 million in sales. And it's all because I used all of these amazing resources in Southern Minnesota. I can't even emphasize how much anybody who has an idea for a product, all of you that are in this competition today, keep using these resources, because that's the way that I was able to get to where I am. I truly did not know what I was doing. I was in the Army before I did this. And now here I am in a whole new different world, and it's only because of all these amazing resources in Southern Minnesota. So I'm going to keep it short so we can get back on track for our schedule here, but I'm available for any questions during the next break or whenever.
Thanks so much, Beth. It's been so exciting to cheer you on. It's great to see you tonight. So collaborative commons, we're going to try this again here, and if you'd please welcome founder Tom Duno to the stage, and Tom is going to go ahead and present. Take it away, Tom. muted. Tom, you are muted. And so the microphone is down in the bottom middle of the screen. You'll just want to click that to make sure you can share.
All right.
There you go.
Now we got it. Okay, I need one of those cups, t-shirts. All right, so I apologize for that. All right, so on behalf of my co-founder, Elaine O'Keefe, I'd like to welcome you to Collaborative Commons. So what is Collaborative Commons? We're building is a one-stop web-enabled ecosystem that collects small organization leaders with the expertise they need to be successful. The platform we're building will provide fast and efficient connections between the people that are in need and the people that have what they need. And we qualify the people upfront so you know you're going to get qualified, trustworthy, and affordable experts. The problem that we're trying to solve is really one of wasted time and wasted talent. For small organizations, when they come up against a problem that's outside of their expertise, if they try to solve it on their own, there's a lot of spinning of wheels. When you go to find help, there's so many people out there. It's where do you go and how do you find them? And it's going to cost you some pretty good dough. And at the end of the day, what we've heard from leaders, they're exhausted from having to do it all. So on the other side are the people who can provide the help to the small organization leaders. And those are solo coaches and consultants. They similarly have too much time looking for clients, not enough time helping clients. And again, they're exhausted as well. What we're trying to do is to figure out how to bring those two together in an efficient manner. This slide shows a graphic overview of what our platform would look like. So we're going to attract small business leaders to the site with social media, direct mail marketing, direct sales. They will come to the site. They will do a triage function where they decide what is the area I need help in. And when they go, in this example, the leadership effectiveness is they then go and see what our offerings are. And they select the one that works best for them. The secret sauce for what we're doing, and it really sets us apart from others, is that we've got a vetted team of experts who deliver these services. So these are those people that we talked about, those solo people that have been looking for help on their own or for clients on their own, and we're going to bring that together. And the way we do that is we do all the back office functions for these people, including providing the website and the platform to connect with clients. And in exchange for that, we do a revenue share agreement with these subcontractors. Our paying customer market our initial market is small business leaders in the Twin Cities metro area. If we can get 0.5% of that target market, assuming a $675 spend, that would be $270,000 for us. If we expand to the next adjacent market, which is those same small organizations, but with their employees, that would mean about $2.4 million to us. And then statewide, it would be about $4.2 million. With regards to coaches, we believe that we can do this initial set with the coaches that we have. And then there's 2,000 plus certified coaches in Minnesota, 17,500 in the US, and then 53,000 globally. And we, because we do our things virtually, we feel like there's really an unlimited supply of the coaches and experts that can present their services on our platform. So the way we make money is pretty simple. So we're projecting second half of this year, last 8 months, $230,000. If you go around the circle here, 8 webinars, 4 accelerator groups, which are cohorts that are learning together, 24 3-month coaching package, and 24 6-month coaching packages. So these are very attainable numbers for us in the second half of the year. Milestones, so we've done the work to validate the problem solution fit. We're currently building the MVP and recruiting our early adopters. When we test the MVP and the marketing capabilities, one of the things that we are concerned about is, there's a lot of competition out there, and making sure that we're differentiating ourselves from the market, and also that we're providing quality services that are being valued by the customers. And we'll be doing a lot of measuring of that. The second half of the year is about improving our product, and hopefully in October we'll be ready to operationalize and grow, recruit more coaches, and expand our offerings. The team we've got in place, Elaine and myself are the co-founders. Elaine's extensive background in nonprofit and coaching. I've been in corporate HR positions, done consulting, leadership development, coaching. Lori Jonas is our operations person. She's really good at setting up and managing back office functions, and Lori Bell is our strategist. And in addition to these people, we've got a group of advisors, 5 people that have more than 70 years experience running startups. So we feel like we're pretty well supported in that regard. And our ask of this group is we want warm leads. So who do you know that's looking to improve their results? Connections to help us build our network and open doors and access expertise. And then funding. We're looking for $50K to be used for building and testing our MVP.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom, for sharing. And Elaine, if you would like to go ahead and come, and judges, come to the stage with mics on, cameras on. This is your opportunity for questions. Elaine, the co-founder, is also going to be here and answer questions as well.
Thank you, Stacy.
All right, we just need judges with mics on and cameras on.
Here they come.
I don't know if I can that if your system's kind of goofy, but I only tried the back half of that presentation.
So I don't see anybody with their checkbook open.
Touche, Tom.
Walk me through finances again, please, Tom, because that piece didn't come through. I don't know if I joined.
Which piece is that?
The financials and the financial model and the payback on this thing. Just high level. Quick.
Yeah, so it's really a low overhead model. We're doing everything virtually, and I mean we'll get paid back in probably 6 months, I believe, is what our financial projection is. That we'll be able to start pulling a draw from the business.
And so tell me about what are the revenue streams? You got the webinars, you got these cohorts. You're teaching people how to use these tools or be more efficient or effective.
Yeah.
That old piece didn't come through.
Yeah, so what we're offering is webinars on basic business skills. So coaching, goal setting, having difficult conversations, those sort of things to help the people be better leaders. We also will eventually have subject matter experts like finance people, marketing people who can help with those facets of the business. And they'll help us. So the webinars is one way. These mastermind groups are the groups of people that learn together. The nice thing about that too is it provides community. A lot of small business leaders are on their own and they like having that group where they can learn from other people's experience. And then the one-on-one coaching, again, is probably going to be our primary revenue driver.
So when you're providing these services and this expertise, how are you paying your experts?
So the way that we do that is that we get paid first through the website. People buy a package, and then we provide a share to the coaches.
Okay, all right, got it. So it's a revenue sharing model to support your experts. I got it.
Yep.
Helpful.
Could I just ask a question too? I guess one of the things that I was curious about, Tom, with jumping off of, I know that this coaching in general is just exploding. So a lot of different types of services are growing. A lot of people are looking to alternative resources than traditional education or traditional consulting to be supported as a business owner or a leader. So there's definitely a need out there, but you mentioned a little bit about using some of this, preliminary time where you're getting off the ground to validate or to sort of make sure that you're differentiated. And I guess one of my questions is, how do you view yourself compared to competitors or compared to similar course offerings out there? Are you them on price or on the, tell me a little bit about how you're thinking about yourself relative to competition.
Yeah, so
take that?
Go ahead, Elaine, go ahead.
So one of the things that we're really concerned with is that there are a lot of people out there hanging their hats out saying that they're coaches, but they're not certified. And so our vetting process is one of the things that really sets us apart, is that we are going to vet these people, and we're about building community. We're not about I need to win. It's we all want to win. And so we bring a collaborative approach, and we bring in more than one coach into that cohort or that small team, if you will. And that's really the part that coaches are lining up, waiting for us to open the door. Like I have a huge network of coaches that are trained and certified, and they're ready to coach. It's just we have to build the model first and build all the pieces. So there's legal expenses and those kinds of things.
Well,
Yeah, and if I could,
I can appreciate your challenge there. Quality control on this thing is where it's at. If you don't have high quality coaches and proven mentors, you're going to have a hell of a time with this value proposition. That said, Tom, can you break down for me the revenue sharing on one sales dollar? What's the split on it? What percentage goes to you guys? What percent goes to your experts? Just take me through that $1 real quick.
Yeah, experts get 70%. We get 30, and we think of that 30, about 10 will be for our expenses. Again, it's a very low cost model, what we're doing. So yeah, so that's the basic breakdown. Now we need to prove that. That's what we're looking to do here with our MVP. The things that we need to be able to market and sell and draw people to the site. We know that's going to be one of our primary expenses.
So when it's all said and done, your potential profitability is 20%, but it's shared with your shared services or your central resources, yourself and the other founders and the other quality control group, if you will, and the networkers. Is that accurate?
Yes, I would say that's accurate.
All right, interesting.
Okay, thank you, judges, for your questions. Thank you, Collaborative Commons, for sharing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call Pretzel up next, our fourth startup for the night. Timmy, if you could come to the stage and turn on your microphone, turn on your camera. Thank you again, judges. And Tom and Chris, you can, there we go. All right, do we have Timmy ready? Timmy with Pretzel. And at some point, we will be over this need to have to do everything virtual, and we'll have the pleasure of being able to do, hopefully, our next pitch competition face-to-face. That would be the big hope. Okay, here we go. Here comes Timmy. Okay, all right, Timmy, go ahead, take it away.
Oh, I need to share my screen. Hi, everyone. I'm Timmy, and I'm the founder of Pretzel. The average POS system has over 15 modules of software built into it. Building these modules can be expensive and time-consuming, and so we have Pretzel. Pretzel is a software that allows POS platforms build online ordering into their system without writing a line of code. And so, there are a lot of cloud-based systems, POS systems out there, and they've often struggled to build an online ordering module. As a result, restaurants have solicited with third parties to run their ordering programs. The problem is the POS platforms charge for integrations with these third-party platforms, and they're often expensive, and so restaurants just don't do it. And so we have Pretzel, an autonomous dashboard that sits behind the POS dashboard and allows the POS to have online ordering functionalities. The average POS platform spends 8 to 14 months building out a module. Pretzel can be implemented in less than 30 days. And what is the market and how big is it? The global restaurant management software market is valued at currently at $4 billion. And we estimate we can obtain the obtainable market is about $500 million for Pretzel. And that market is set to double between now and 2026. More than double, actually, if I do the right math. And so you may be asking yourself, is online ordering new with POS companies? The answer is no, it's not new. Pretzel isn't inventing online ordering, but we're reinventing how POS platforms do it. So we have third-party platforms like Gloria Food, which allow POS platforms offer integrations to their POS systems. The problem with these platforms is they do not give POS platforms a share of the revenue. They do not give POS platforms any customizations to fit the needs of that POS platforms. And last but not the least, and most important, is they do not work well with the other modules. Not work well, they do not work at all with the other modules that the POS platforms already have. So Pretzel is bringing something that could solve the problem of having online ordering, but also harmonizing it with the existing technology of the POS platform. And what is our business module? We make money from licensing fees we charge our customer. Our customer is the POS company. The users are the restaurants. We charge the POS company license fees. They add a surcharge to that, and they charge subscription fees to their restaurants. They're in control at what prices they set. We also earn processing commissions from our partnerships with online payment gateways. And so, who is the team of Pretzel? You have Timmy. I have over 4 years of experience building online ordering implementations for restaurants. And I have experience using every major restaurant POS system and online ordering system. I've used over 20 of them. And then you have my partner, Dan, who is a former lead software engineer for a payment startup called Brightwell, and is also currently a senior engineer at Atlanta-based VC-funded startup. We also have 2 advisors. And so the financial summary, Pretzel has been bootstrapped so far with personal funds and sweat equity we value at over $40,000. We estimate we would begin making money from our MPOS licenses in the Q2 of 2022. Because our licenses will be heavily discounted in 2022, we only estimate a revenue of $62,000, but a revenue of $1 million in 2023. And so what's our progress and roadmap? We launched an alpha in September 2020 for user testing, and we have over 30 pages of reports on how that went. And we got our interest from our first POS platform called Loyverse, a merchant with over 100,000, platform with over 100,000 merchants. We plan on launching an MVP with Loyverse later this year, and launching Pretzel 1.0 with Loyverse sometime in the spring of 2022. That conversation is currently still ongoing, and we're still in talks with Loyverse. We'll be looking for $50,000 in pre-seed money just after we launch that MVP. And so, final question and slide. Why now? We're seeing a trend in POS platforms building their own online ordering systems and ditching the third-party integrations. Big platforms like Square POS and Clover, owned by First Data, did that just last year. We estimate that the smaller POS companies are going to follow suit, and Pretzel is going to help them do that faster. We're also seeing trends in POS companies licensing pieces of their software. So the timing is right, the product is right, the market is right. Hopefully, the execution is right. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Timmy. Judges, this is your opportunity. Please turn on mics and cameras and come to the stage, and you have 5 minutes.
I actually like to see the faces. Sorry, I'm just going to navigate. Oh, that's not good.
That's a very aggressive ramp, Timmy, between this year and next year, going from 62 to $1 million.
Very aggressive.
Is that primarily based on the 100,000 users at Loyverse?
Great question. So what I must mention firstly is Pretzel is not a new project. It's been an ongoing project for a while. So we've been putting these pieces together for a while, and the software and the infrastructure, all of that, those pieces are already existing. And so the operation and the implementation is what would be done mostly in 2022, which would allow us to scale fast. Yes, our revenue is mostly from mobile POS licenses from Loyverse. We price these licenses at $4.99 to $9.99 per merchant. The platform can sell it for $50, $75, whatever they choose. But we price them at $4.99 to $9.99.
I like your strategy because you take a lot of variables off the table by dealing with Loyverse and using something you can prove, validate, and then replicate. So I think it's a good strategy.
Thank you so much, Chris.
I have a question about where you're at in the marketing relative to other companies. Do you tag yourself as early to the market, late to the market? You must have competitors out there in the past year that have thought through this problem.
That's a great question, Jerry. And as I mentioned earlier, we're not inventing online ordering. It's existed for the past 15 years. So if we were branding ourselves as an online ordering company, we're very late. But because we're an online ordering SaaS technology for POS platforms, there's been nothing exclusively dedicated to POS platforms who serve most of the restaurants, well, all of the restaurants who do online ordering.
I mean, you're competing against the systems that restaurants have been putting in place for this past year frantically.
Exactly. And those are the third-party platforms, and they are great. And if we tried to go head-to-head against them, we would not win. And that's the truth. And that's why we're marketing to the POS platforms. They need the reduced implementation and the reduced software costs. And that's why Pretzel is invisible. You know, the POS platforms, the third-party platforms, they're not going to know about us unless we're working with them. You know, so we have a silent growth advantage. By the time they find out about us, we could have built in half of the functionalities that third-party systems already have.
You're an open architecture, flexible middleware is what you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I read in your business plan that you've got one contact at Loyverse, and they're willing to allow you into their app. They're effectively their app store, but their model is to let the survival of the fittest. Whoever's going to spend the most marketing money inside of that app store and outside of it to drive traffic to their app store for implementation is going to win.
Yes. One thing I must mention. Sorry. Go ahead. Do you have any idea how much money you're going to have to spend on marketing in order to, you're going to have to market directly? Yes, and we have an offer from Loyverse. It's just words right now. The goal is our marketing cost would come out of the fees that we're charging Loyverse. They want more discounted fees, and essentially that would incentivize them to promote our platform to their merchants. And we are basically, in that regard, at the mercy of Loyverse because we are new and they are our first implementation. But that would be an obstacle once we overcome. It would make it much easier to scale.
Okay. Is Loyverse requesting any type of exclusivity with you all for a certain amount of time, or are you hoping to use them to scale and then branch out?
The exclusivity is very key, and we are not getting that from them initially. And I should mention that. But it would be key we get that from them somewhere in the first 18 months. If not, we're going to open the door for other companies to do what we want to do. Yeah. Any more questions?
Very good. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, judges. And our last pitch of the evening is with SoulView. And so, Michael Seffrin, would you please make your way to the stage? Mic on and camera on. And Michael, you can, as soon as we get him logged in here, you can take it away.
Ooh, I'm nervous, guys, but here we go. I assume so. So hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm a co-founder of SoulView, which is a company with the purpose of preventing lower limb amputations of diabetics without foot sensation. These patients are struggling to perform their recommended at-home daily foot inspection due to immobility, obesity, arthritis, or bad eyesight. Our product provides an image to the user's feet on a handheld screen in a way that is not partial to physical or technological limitations. Unlike a mirror or an app-based system, our device is as easy to use as a bathroom scale. The problem is that amputations are prevalent within the diabetic community. About 130,000 were performed on diabetics in 2016 alone. These amputations are often caused due to ulcers and lesions growing on the bottom of your feet, and thus patients are recommended to inspect their feet daily, but struggle to do so. These ulcers and lesions can quickly lead to amputations, sometimes within a few days, which makes this problem ever so more important to solve. The solution, we think, is a SolView box, where you place your foot on the box that has a camera inside that transmits an image of the bottom of your foot to a handheld screen that you then can compare with yesterday's image and look at today's image. If you see a difference, you're advised then to contact your doctor and tell them you need to make an appointment. We believe that this solves the problems for diabetics because it allows them to see their foot a lot easier. It solves a problem for podiatrists because it allows patients to do an early detection on their ulcers and lesions that are growing to kind of before it gets to an amputatable state. With our MVP, we placed it in my co-founder's clinic, and we got some great results. When asked, does the device aid in seeing the bottom of your feet? We got an average rating of 4.7 out of 5. That was on a population of roughly 26 and an average age of 75. So our competition is Arch Healthcare, Habit Camera, and those telescoping mirrors you can get pretty much anywhere. We believe SolView is better than those three options because it's more affordable, more accessible, has a lower technology barrier, and it's not physically limiting. Our market is roughly $2.88 billion. That's based on the amount of diabetics with neuropathy in the US. Our specific market is roughly $1.43 billion. That's based on diabetics with neuropathy that are greater than 65 in the US. And our obtainable market, we believe to be 9.25 million, roughly around the one to 2 year timeframe. That's all based on a $250 device cost and the assumption that everyone over 65 struggles to see the bottom of their feet. We believe our obtainable market is obtainable because of how many diabetics with neuropathy that are over 65 that are in Minnesota, and then also leveraging kind of a subset of my co-founder's successful YouTube channel subscribers. One finding I'd like to share with everyone is that the diabetes device market is expected to grow with a compound annual growth rate of roughly 6% through 2027. Now, these numbers are all based on the US market, and this is definitely a global issue. Our business model is focusing on easy access and affordability, leveraging a lot of direct sales and also channel partners who are our podiatrists, medical suppliers, insurers, and others. So we've done an initial customer test. We're currently working on kind of our Rev 2 prototype that based on our initial test, we're gonna put those prototypes inside of our customers' homes, get a lot more data. We're gonna do about a 30-day study with a couple different customers. At the same time that we're doing this product development effort, we're gonna do some business validation and understand our other channel partners a lot better. Then after those two activities kind of combine, we'll do an initial build, have some initial sales, hopefully get some traction, confirm our business model, start manufacturing, and hopefully launch within 2023. Our team involves myself, I'm Michael. I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in mechanical engineering. I've been a medical device engineer since about 2014. I've seen everything from super early stage to a full finished device. My co-founder is Dr. Judith Sperling, and she's been a practicing podiatrist for about 30 years with clinic and surgical experience. She also has a very successful YouTube channel called Dr. Nail Nipper with about 183,000 subscribers. Our other team members right now involve an electrical engineer, product designer, and a business strategist. So currently in 2021, we're looking for about 50K for more product and business validation. That's conducting interviews, that's creating other prototypes. We're also looking for a business development contractor and someone who has experience in the insurance reimbursement field. In 2022, we're looking for about 200 to 400K for some pilot production and to hire on some technical and business people. And that's SolView. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Michael. And judges, if you could come on up to the stage, and you have 5 minutes.
Michael, you did a great job. That was I know you were nervous, but you did a fantastic job presenting. It was you had more information that I wanted to know as a potential investor than any of the other presenters tonight. So you did very well.
I have a question to start out, if you're willing, Michael. The slide that I had the most trouble with, or I'd just love to know a little bit more about, is where you broke down the market. I think in part because, you know, I do know that it's a huge issue in the United States. Diabetes rates are skyrocketing. So it's not that, like, the problem is definitely there, and, you know, it's a compelling value proposition. But even in the smallest breakdown that you gave of your addressable market, I'm curious, like, what you think your serviceable market is, because you're in those early exploration stages in terms of who your channel partners might be, or how a customer might actually find and purchase this.
Sure.
I just love to hear a little bit more about how you're thinking about that, especially because if you're primarily serving people who are, you know, in their 70s and 80s, like, how do you realistically think that you'll reach them and sell to those numbers?
Yeah, leveraging podiatrist clinics are going to be, I think, one of our most, like, profitable kind of channel partners to use. And then also the family and friends of those older people, right? But let's say you have a grandma, right, Jessica, that has these issues. You scroll on your Instagram feed, hey, does your grandma have problems seeing the bottom of her feet? Here's a device to help her, for example. I did that for Life Alert to my grandma 2 years ago. You know, it's kind of one of those things that that I can compare to. So we're planning to leverage podiatrists, and then also those family and friends, and then I think the clinics are really going to be where we can shine. And our obtainable market, or our serviceable market right now, we believe we can hit that due to how many diabetics are in Minnesota. So reaching out to podiatrists within Minnesota, leveraging my co-founders network, right? And then also leveraging her subscribers. So we got that number at about 37,000 people, multiply that by their device costs, and there's a revenue.
On the device cost question, you got a price point targeted somewhere in the $250 range. Have you done some investigation, and do you have a product cost? Are you able to make a margin, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, I have it's a very rough kind of cost of goods at about $125, and for the whole device. And then, so we've got the 250 mark as well, based on some through our initial MVP kind of study we did with surveys. We got a rough cost there, and it could definitely be more than that. It's still something we're trying to figure out.
I'm just kind of curious if you could share a timeline of when you came. I mean, everything you put together is really well done, and the idea is great. When did you start? When did you come up with the idea? Like, how long has this been going on to get to this point?
Well, I didn't come up with the idea. My co-founder did, probably 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago or so. And she went to the U of M to try and get some help with it, but she didn't get the services she was looking for. And so got connected with her about a year and a half ago. She had we were kind of looking at 4 different things. And I looked at this one, the SoulView box, and was like, this is the one I think we should pursue. It seems to have the most impact, and definitely, you know, all she wants is a better quality of life for her patients. So yeah, it was about a year and a half ago that we started. I took a shoebox, I put a borescope camera in there. I tried it out. I'm like, hey, are these pictures good? She's like, yeah, that's perfect. So I spent, you know, a couple $100 to make my first MVP, and got it out to the users.
Your material talked about comparison photos, that your device would keep a record of is that a technology comparison, or is that just a visual that the user would have to look at and compare?
Good question. The technology comparison is something we've considered. At this moment, we think we just need to keep it as simple as possible. We're allowing the users to do a comparison themselves. It also keeps us out of the medical device designation, which we believe can help us avoid the whole FDA and other regulatory bodies. To answer your question, Jerry?
Yep.
Okay, great.
You
Anything
you
else?
mentioned in your the written presentation, you mentioned your partner has a YouTube channel. How large is that, and is that an effective way to get your first trials?
Yeah, you know, it's something we need to try out. But so she's got about 183,000 subscribers, people who, you know, get updates on what her videos are every week, every Friday she sets out a video, for example. She's for a comparison, she's pretty much the Dr. Pimple Popper of foot care, but on YouTube. So she thinks, and based on her metrics that she gets, she thinks that about half the people are there just to kind of look at gross stuff, and half the people are there for actual you know, diabetic foot care relief, understanding how to do it.
All right. Thank you. Sorry to cut in. I want to keep us on time here. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, judges. Chris Lukenbill, I'm going to go ahead and call you to the stage now. And Sherpa was the Ignite Cup winner last year. And Chris, we would love to have an update on what you have been up to over the past 12 months.
Excellent. Hello, everybody. So yeah, so as Stacy mentioned, I was the Ignite Cup winner last year, and so just to give you a little bit of update of what we've been up to, you know, for us, it's really been just a process of finding new opportunities and building on them. So really, it started with the Ignite Cup, and of course, the opportunity that came from that is being able to go into the Minnesota Cup, but also a lot of the advice that we were able to take from the judges and advisors that we received from the Ignite Cup as well. And both from that advice and from the mentorship that we received through the Minnesota Cup, it really helped to be able to develop out what our plan as a company was. At that point in time, we really were still in the idea stage. We didn't have a product to sell at the time, and we were trying to make that decision of, do we go down the path of trying to build up travelers and creators? And so just to kind of take it back here a little bit, if you don't know what Sherpa is all about discovering your community through day trips that are created on the platform, multi-stop adventures that people can discover, fun adventures in their town or local communities nearby. And that's what we're based off of. And so at that time, we were trying to figure out, can we find a way to be able to introduce this to enough creators and travelers to be able to make an impact, and then sell to investors to be able to get investors on board and be able to build our company that way. The other option that we had at that time was find a customer that we could serve with a model that values what we were creating. So we were trying to find a great way to be able to get people into small communities throughout Minnesota and the region and beyond. And so that's where we actually turned to visitors bureaus, destination marketing organizations, and built a business model around that. And so that was really the result of all of the feedback, the advice that we had received through the Ignite Cup in the Minnesota Cup. After the Minnesota Cup, where we were able to finish third in the high tech division. So that was an outstanding finish. Finishing third's great because we get to go back this year. So we get to go do it again, hopefully, if we're able to make it into the semifinals. And then after the Minnesota Cup, we went into the G-Beta Accelerator. And so we took the G-Beta Accelerator as an opportunity to be able to build on sales, start selling, start building that sales pitch, start building that model around how we can sell to communities. In that program, we actually then were able to build up a partnership with Explore Minnesota. And so that's kind of, again, finding these opportunities and building on them. With Explore Minnesota, we've been able to introduce our product to communities all throughout Minnesota. And so we have, you know, smaller communities around the area, such as Cannon Falls and Chatfield, all the way up to large communities like Brainerd and Duluth, and even Mall of America is our customer as well. So that's been a really great opportunity to be able to introduce us all throughout the state, build a little bit of experience as we grow throughout the state. And next, we're looking to grow regionally into Wisconsin, where we've already started, and hoping to go nationally this year. So that's what we've been up to. And thank you for the opportunity to be able to share our story.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's been super fun to watch all of this progress, and congratulations on that recent partnership with the state of Minnesota. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to the judges. Thank you to the past winners and all of the finalists, and to the audience. And so this is your opportunity, audience. And while the judges take the next 10 to 15 minutes to deliberate, you're going to get to cast your vote for the startup of your choice. We will draw everyone back here just very shortly and announce the first place winner and the winner of the People's Choice Award. We will see you back soon. All right, we are about to announce our winners. And so would all of the startups who pitched tonight, please unmute your microphone and turn your camera on and join me on the stage. While we're waiting for all of this to happen, we want to thank everyone who helped to make this possible. Thank you, Jamie Sunsbach from Collider, and thank you to Shannon Harris here at Red Wing Ignite. They were our stage managers and the tech gurus and the wizard behind the scenes, and they're the ones who helped to ensure everything ran as smoothly as possible. And thank you to all of the E1 partners for your continued work in elevating entrepreneurs across the region. So here, do we have everybody here? I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So here is the big moment, and you guys can unmute too. But the people have spoken, and the People's Choice Award goes to, drum roll, Pretzel. And so congratulations, Pretzel, for your People's Choice. You win a prize package that is put together all kinds of wonderful goodies. And so that brings me now, and we want to offer up just a round of virtual applause to our first place winner, the winner of $1,500 cash made possible by Smith and automatic semifinalist in the Minnesota Cup. Please give it up for Solview. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our finalists tonight. You have all worked so extremely hard to get where you're at today. And great job to our People's Choice winner, Pretzel, and huge congrats to Solview. We do hope, Michael, to see you in the finals at the Minnesota Cup so we can continue to cheer you on. And thank you again to everyone here in attendance tonight and for your support of entrepreneurialism. We are so glad that you joined us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon at another event. There are a number of links in the far right chat that in the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you can go over and grab a link if you are interested in checking out some of our other events, and hopefully soon it will even be face-to-face. So thank you again, everyone. And Jessica Berg just said she hopes that every single one of you finalists applies to the Min Cup. And so please reach out to her. And she did put her email in the chat, or if you need help getting connected, we'd be glad to help connect you. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you to the E1 partners who have done all of these things to help support the entrepreneurs. Thank you to Launch Minnesota and Minnesota Deed for the funding that helped make the E1 Collaborative possible. And so we just so appreciate seeing all of you here tonight. And we are excited to continue to watch your progress and to continue to cheer you on. Have a great night, everyone. And I think Jamie will take us back to networking mode for our last minute and 22 seconds.